Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and breaking news, we're talking about Lyft. Here's the thing. One of the most stressful things about driving for Lyft is prime time. Prime time, for those who are not aware, is Uber surge. However, there's been a very key difference in how Lyft and Uber actually handle the surge. Uber will mark it very clearly when it's surging, what the surge is if you get a surge ride, and whether or not you want to accept it. Lyft has always been very, very vague about whether or not you're going to be getting a primetime ride. I mean, really, they've made it so difficult that when it's prime timing, the only way you could actually figure out if your ride was a prime time is if while you were looking at the app, you memorized the areas that were pink, and when you got an address, if that address was within that pink area, you were probably okay. Probably. Sometimes prime time would end just before someone called you for that ride. So I know why Lyft did that. Basically, they didn't want Lyft drivers to be like Uber drivers and just cherry pick the primetime rides and ignore the non-primetime rides. But of course, the whole purpose of primetime is to lure drivers out of the house and driving. And it doesn't really work when the primetime rides are kind of kept hidden from the drivers. But Lyft has fixed that today. I wish I had a screenshot, but ever since I got my new phone, taking a picture on the phone camera is much more difficult. Cool. I used to be able to press a button and it would automatically take the picture. Now I have to kind of do this slide thing. Does not work. I mean, it works, but not when you're driving and stuff. It's not worth the hassle. But I will tell you what it looks like. Basically, when you accept a typical Lyft ride, well, actually, when you get the notification of the Lyft ride, it will still be that little pink bar. There'll be the circle, and there's now going to be a little gray bar above the pink square that will say 25%, 75%, 200%, whatever it is. So you will know if that ride is a primetime ride. And if it is a primetime ride, obviously you probably want to accept it. So this is great news because it's going to add a new element of strategy for Lyft drivers. And here's the thing. While it does not prime time as much as it surges, Lyft is getting bigger. They are expanding. They just got $500 million in capital, and they're actually growing. They are growing, so the prime time is going to be happening more often, more likely. And now that we can actually see when it's a prime time, that means more people will switch over, which means drivers could be doing this game of hopscotch, where when everyone sees it's surging on one app, they'll jump on that one, and some people will just wait out a couple minutes and then jump to the other app, because then the other app will be surging or prime timing. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to add a whole new dynamic to this. So I would like to personally thank Lyft for giving the drivers this option. We needed it. We asked for it. And unlike Uber, Lyft actually seems to listen once in a while. I mean, they're still trying to take over the world. And in fact, they have a position in the White House potentially soon. And they're going to be dealing with regulations on self-driving cars. I'll be making a video about that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I thought this was of way more interest to you guys because the self-driving cars aren't coming for a long time. But you know what? You could use tonight. You could know when you turn your Lyft app on whether or not you're getting a primetime ride. You finally have that information. It's long overdue, and I'm happy. Are you happy? Well, of course you're happy. Is this going to change the way you drive? I would love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.